I surprised my cheating wife with divorce papers at the hotel where she was having her affair. Hey everyone, hope you're doing alright. So, I've got this long, complicated story to share, and I'm typing it all out on my phone, so bear with me if there are any mistakes. I'm really at my wit's end here and could use some advice. A bit of backstory: I'm 43, and my wife, who's 40, and I have been married for 16 years. We've got 2 kids, a 14-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. Our marriage had a rough start, but we worked through it and came out stronger, or so I thought. We got married young, so we were still figuring things out, but we always believed we could overcome anything together. Maybe that was just wishful thinking. Anyway, my wife has been managing a big ad company for the past 3 years, and I've been in engineering for 7. We both earn well, providing a nice lifestyle for our family. We were a close-knit group, always making time for our kids despite our hectic schedules. I always saw myself as a good dad and husband, even if I messed up here and there. That's why it hit me like a ton of bricks when I discovered my wife was having a long-term affair. Here's how it all unfolded. My wife started acting distant about 2 years ago, constantly critiquing everything I did and comparing me to her boss. Apparently, he could do no wrong. This boss of hers was someone I confided in about our marital woes. He seemed like a great guy. Little did I know. One night, while she was texting and having a giggle fest, I tried to sneak a peek at her phone. She pulled it away, got super defensive, and stormed off. That's when I first suspected something was up. I asked her about it the next day, and she got furious, denied any wrongdoing, and refused to let me see her phone. Eventually, she did give me her phone, but by then, most of the messages were deleted. After a month, with a buddy's help, we managed to recover some deleted texts. That's when I got the confirmation: it was her boss. I didn't confront her right away because I knew she'd just find a way to wriggle out of it. I was heartbroken, thinking about how this would affect the kids. I bought this book, How to Help Your Spouse Heal from an Affair, hoping it would help turn things around. I planned to talk things over with her, but she claimed she had an emergency at work and didn't come home until 2 a.m. I checked, her office wasn't even open that night. When she got home, she dodged my questions, and I reached out to her boss's wife out of sheer desperation. She was as shocked as I was. We teamed up to gather evidence. Her husband was too arrogant to even delete his texts, which, along with what I had, painted a complete picture of their 2-year-long affair. They'd hooked up everywhere, at our place, their place, fancy hotels, business trips. It was all sickening. Both of us wanted revenge, but not in the form of our own affair. We went ahead and filed for divorce. Their reasons for the affair? It was just physical, they said. They never planned on leaving us, apparently. They thought we could just move past it. I've been called all sorts of things for not giving her another chance, but the kids are backing me up, even if they wish we'd stay together. It's tough, and my resolve is waning, especially with everything else going on. So, we're still living in the same house, and my wife's going to therapy and diving into this book I picked up for her, but man, it's getting tougher to stick to my principles. She's all about how sorry she is and that she'll do anything to make things right. But I keep telling her, she's just sorry she got nailed in the act, and that's all I need to know. She threw some shade, calling me a bitter person who can't let go of the negativity. She said sorry for that later, but I know that's how she really feels. I'm still chatting with the boss's wife, and my wife totally despises it. She's convinced I'm going to have a get-back affair or thinks the boss's wife is the reason I won't give us another shot. She's been on my case to cut off all contact with her boss's wife, just like she did with her boss. I told her she's out of her mind. We didn't do anything wrong, so why should I start listening to her now? I think I'm pretty much done here. I've lost respect for her, but she won't back down and keeps trying to draw me into conversations about her affair. But honestly, I just see them as excuses, so I'm not interested. She wants us to do therapy together, but I've read too many stories where therapists lay the blame on the victim, so that's a hard pass for me. She's pushing for us to read books on infidelity together, but what's the point if divorce is impending anyway? As for getting close? I told her she can't sway me with sex, and she insists it's not manipulation, just a way to show how much she loves me. I corrected her and said, "You mean, love me now?" Everyone around me, even my mom, is frustrated. They say people screw up, and my wife has realized through her mistakes how much she loves me. But I told them I won't be anyone's backup plan. I feel horrible for treating her like this because deep down, I still love her, even if there's a bit of hate mixed in. Am I being too harsh? She's really trying hard, but honestly, I'm just over it. Should I rethink the whole divorce thing? People are saying I'm rushing and might regret it later. Is there any truth to that? I'm just unsure about everything right now. Oh, and thanks for all your responses. I've read them and a few people brought up some key points. I'm about to have a chat with my wife, and I'll keep you all in the loop. But for real, I think divorce is the best way forward for me and the kids. Reading everything here has kinda solidified the decision for me. Back for a quick update. I've been getting floods of emails for updates, so here I am again. My wife and I are in a sorta okay space, not because we're reconciling. Nope, I'm still heading for that divorce. My last post, which got deleted, explained it all in detail. But here's the short version. My wife is still begging for a second chance and trying everything to get it. I just can't give it to her. Her affair was too drawn out. 2 years is brutal. If it was just a one-night thing, that's one story, but this was a long-term deal. I've been to a few of her therapy sessions, not because I want to fix our marriage, but because I still care enough to see her progress. One session was eye-opening and showed me she's really remorseful. She hasn't handled the fallout perfectly, but she's trying hard. In another session, things got heated because she was upset about my contact with the boss's wife, worried about a revenge affair. We argued a lot over this. She wanted me to cut off all contact, but I promised her there wouldn't be any revenge affair. I'm attending a few more therapy sessions, just keeping tabs. My wife's old boss's wife is also going through a divorce, and we've been supporting each other as friends. I'm not interested in anything more. My kids are alright, they understand that just because we're divorcing, it doesn't mean we love them any less. They're not thrilled about the divorce, but they get why it's happening. My wife doesn't work at the old ad company anymore. She left after I served her divorce papers and is now at a new job. She maintains no contact with her former boss, like she promised. She's been getting advice from forums on fixing our marriage. I've been reading up on this stuff too and, honestly, I see why some people stay, seeing her work to be better. She's not a monster, just made some lousy choices. She's offering the world for another chance, but I'm just not sure if I can do it. As the divorce gets closer, I feel more at ease. We had a long chat where she asked if we could give it another go, even after the divorce is final. I'm not completely opposed, but she's got a long way to go before I'd even consider it. I'm not convinced it would help anyone. Part of me wants this divorce for justice, it's all I can get without stooping to her level. Mom and I patched things up after I shared more details about the affair. Now, Mom's furious with my wife. I'm not sure how to handle all that. Anyway, I didn't want to rant until the divorce was final, but I'm really ticked off today and needed to vent. My wife is terrified about the idea of a revenge affair. She thinks because I'm still in contact with the other woman that it's going to happen. This other woman's younger, model-level attractive, and owns her own business. My wife's freaking out that I'll be tempted. I can't believe she had the nerve to lecture me about 2 wrongs not making a right. She's not wrong, but it's the hypocrisy that gets me. Every time I visit this friend, my wife gets clingy and sad. It's ridiculous how cheaters are so selfish, thinking only of their pain. Meanwhile, I'm trying to hold it together, picking up the pieces. Our kids hang out with their kids still, but my wife's convinced I'd be as heartless as she was. Her ex is still at their holiday home, begging my friend to take him back, but she's done. The whole situation with him gives me a weird sense of justice because he has to deal with me being around his wife. He doesn't visit the kids unless he knows I'm not there. I kind of feel bad for the guy. My wife's been super apologetic and keeps trying to win me over with affection, but I'm not having it. I'm not in a good place, and we have a therapy session today. I really feel like unloading all the hurt I've been carrying because of her. The rage I feel is just too much sometimes. Quick update, nothing major, but I've been reading more about infidelity, trying to wrap my head around everything. In therapy, my wife asked me to give her more time to win me back. She had all these reasons why it would be good to try. I keep pointing out that she's only making an effort now because of the consequences of her affair. She was emotionally abusive for months, and I'm not about to let myself get walked over. She's admitted her wrongs and apologized again, but I'm still feeling stuck. So, my wife has been making all these promises about making things right and wants our marriage to come out stronger than ever. She really believes it can happen. I asked her if she's ready to deal with my anger because I've got plenty of it. She was like, absolutely, and even said I should vent to her whenever I need to help me work through the pain. Usually, when I asked why she cheated, she'd give me a ton of excuses. But this time, she was straightforward and admitted there was no excuse. She said she wants to prove she's truly sorry every day from now on and promised she'd never hurt me like that again. She opened up about feeling insecure and jealous, which led to the affair boosting her ego. She liked feeling attractive and desired, even though it was just a fantasy. She didn't think about the consequences much but regrets it now and feels guilty. She even thinks she'll never forgive herself. My wife used to worry I'd cheat back on her because she thought this other woman, who's really beautiful and has a lot of integrity, was a threat. But it was mostly her insecurity talking, plus my anger at her betrayal. The therapist asked me what it would take for me to consider fixing our marriage. I joked I'd need a time machine because what we have now doesn't feel real. The therapist said all marriages face problems like cheating, and it's about how you handle them that matters. I found this hard to accept, thinking the therapist should focus more on my wife's issues. The therapist pointed out my problem with logical reasoning and communication. On the way home, my wife asked if I felt emasculated because of her affair, which surprised me. I admitted I did feel that way. Then, she shocked me by suggesting I sleep with someone else or, more like, take a break and see other people to get my confidence back, while she stays faithful. I thought that was a crazy plan and told her it wouldn't help us to both start seeing other people. She said it's not an affair if we're separated. I said it's a big risk, but she thinks since we're heading towards divorce anyway, it could help me explore other options. I found it all very strange, but she's been unusually calm and patient lately. She's acting like a different person from the insecure one before. Even though we're divorcing, she's been generous in the settlement, which is not what you'd typically see. It feels unreal. Anyway, I'm definitely going through with the divorce and keen to hear what others think. We've agreed to keep things civil for the holidays for the kids' sake, though my wife hopes for more. Divorce should be finalized by mid-February. We split everything evenly, and she's even offered me a bit more out of guilt. I've stopped therapy with her as it seemed to give her false hope. She wants to be close again, but I've turned her down, even though she keeps trying, saying it's just to make me feel desired, not to reconcile. I've also stepped back from someone else involved, who was getting too personal. She wants to wait until my divorce is finalized to see if we have a future. Meanwhile, the guy my wife cheated with apologized, but I didn't accept it. I'm wondering if it's okay to sleep with my wife even if we aren't reconciling. I miss the intimacy, and she's been trying hard to reconnect on that level. She's gone as far as getting rid of anything that reminds her of the affair, showing how much she wants the marriage to work. But it's tough to navigate these feelings. Despite all this, I realize now that I deserve better and I'm ready for a fresh start. My wife was great in some ways, like giving me wonderful kids, but she made me feel less than when she put energy into someone else. Now she's trying to be the perfect partner, but it's too late. I've learned I deserve someone who truly values me from the start. You know, for a while there, whenever I looked at my wife, all I could see was this constant look of regret on her face. She clearly wished the whole affair had never happened and seemed to beat herself up about it every single day. It was like she carried this weight of hopelessness, especially when I wasn't responding to her attempts to fix things. It made her look so miserable, and seeing her try to hide it made me feel crappy about myself sometimes. But I felt it was necessary to deal with the situation this way. I struggled with not being able to see her remorse as a positive sign. Lots of couples face affairs and come out stronger, or so I've heard. I just couldn't separate my emotions from a more objective view. I kept thinking, someone else might end up with a better version of her while I jump into another uncertain relationship. Why not fight for our future? But at the end of the day, I couldn't accept being disrespected like that. People have been curious about my situation, so here it is. I've decided to move on from my marriage for good. I'm spending Christmas with my family and then focusing on myself. I've also stopped letting my thoughts hold me back from moving on. I want both of us to be happy, but I know it'll never be together again. There's another person, someone who went through a similar situation, and we've supported each other a lot. We even had dinner planned after the holidays just as friends, though things got unexpectedly close. The whole divorce thing has been eye-opening. It made me realize I have options. I don't really care about the guy she cheated with, honestly. Divorce has shown me a different side of marriage, and right now, it seems pretty overrated. I just gave a lot to someone who didn't reciprocate, and that's a tough pill to swallow. So that's the update. My ex and I are officially divorced now. It's been a tough road, lots of tears and anger involved, but it's over. Despite everything, I'm trying to be practical for the sake of our kids. My ex moved to a smaller place, and it's a big change for her. She's still hitting therapy pretty hard, and we've had some intense talks, minimal touching involved. She wants to get back together, but I can't risk it. That dinner with the other betrayed spouse? Let's just say it ended on a surprisingly passionate note. It was actually quite liberating and kinda restored some of my self-esteem. No cheating involved, which felt good morally. She's divorced too, so I guess we're in similar boats. As for now, I'm focused on healing emotionally. The experience taught me a lot about self-respect and the importance of a fulfilling relationship and sex life. I'm grateful to everyone who supported me and offered advice. At the core of it, communication is key, and never settle for less than you deserve. So that's where I'm at. Life's slowly getting better, and I'm working through the trauma. My kids' well-being is my top priority, and they're in therapy to adjust as well. But it's hard since not everyone gets along. There's tension between my ex and this other person in my life. My ex is trying hard to come back, which is just confusing because she threw away what we had. Anyway, I'm moving forward, learning from the past, and hoping for better days ahead. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll catch you later. Hey everyone, I'm not exactly new to Reddit, but this is my first time posting here, so bear with me. Just a heads up, if you want more background info, feel free to browse through my history. Here's the short version. My ex-wife cheated on me for about 2 years, and during that time, she wasn't exactly the nicest person. She even compared me to the other guy quite a bit. Our sex life tanked, and I initially blamed myself for everything. When I found out about the affair, I didn't have a solid plan to leave right away, but things changed one weekend when she bailed to hang out with him and lied to me about it. I teamed up with another person whose spouse also cheated, and we ended up divorcing our respective partners. We told the kids about the split in a way they could handle, saying something like, "Mom broke a promise to Dad," without going into nasty details. They took it about as well as you'd expect. Obviously, they didn't want us to split, which is totally understandable. Even though my ex kept pushing for us to get back together, I just couldn't do it. I forgave her and all, but I was ready to move on. Divorce was expensive, but it didn't totally wreck me financially. After the divorce, the other betrayed spouse and I started seeing each other. It was casual at first, but now it's serious. If it weren't for the support we gave each other during all this, I might still be stuck with my cheating ex or worse, feeling like life wasn't worth it at all. Kidding, but not really. I try to keep an open conversation with my kids about how they're feeling. My son, who's 10, thinks the world of the other betrayed spouse, but my 15-year-old daughter is still adjusting. She says she wants me to be happy and doesn't want to interfere with my relationship. I assured her she could speak her mind without upsetting me. We've had a lot of talks about healthy relationships, and I've been open about my daughter's concerns. She seems supportive, but I worry she might be bottling up her emotions. We keep our new relationship pretty low-key for the kids' sake. All the kids are in therapy, even the other guys, which is a whole different story. But yeah, the affair has definitely strained my daughter's relationship with her mom. She openly says she hates her because if it weren't for the affair, none of this would have happened. My daughter acts out when it's her mom's turn for custody, brushes off any affection attempts, and there was even one time she used some choice words, which I had to step in and address. The ex is trying her best to fix things with our daughter, but there's only so much she can do alone, and she's asked for my help. Yeah, I could rub her face in the fact she cheated, but I'm trying to be the bigger person here. It's hard not to doubt if I handled things right. There are a few things on my mind. My daughter doesn't respect her mom, wishes things could go back to how they were. She doesn't know her mom wasn't great to me. She's in therapy, but I'm not sure how much it's helping, and I worry she feels powerless in all this. She's dealing with my relationship with the other betrayed spouse well, but I worry she's hiding her true feelings. It's tough not to think I might have messed up their lives by divorcing their mom, but I'm not going back to that toxic situation. Any advice would really help. Update: hey, folks. I know some of you are worried about me, and I've seen your messages. Sorry for being MIA. I'm not super active here anymore, but I know some of you have been checking in. Here's an update, fair warning, not a fairy tale ending, but things are looking up. The big question: how are things with the other betrayed spouse and me? Honestly, fantastic. If I'd known someone like her existed, I would have found her ages ago. Kidding, but seriously, this relationship is the healthiest I've had. Thanks to my ex putting me through the ringer, I had no clue what a good relationship looked like, but this woman has been amazing for me. I'm head over heels here, but we're keeping the whole marriage thing off the table for now. We're low-key about our relationship with the kids, but they know we're together. The kids had a rocky start, but they're getting along fine now, mostly because we're super involved in their lives and they've all had therapy. My daughter and son actually adore the other betrayed spouse, who's great with kids. Her kids have warmed up to me a lot too. Her youngest even called me her stepdad at an event, which really hit me hard emotionally, but I managed to keep it cool. I love seeing our kids playing together, even if they gang up to tease my son, who's the youngest and the only boy. As for my cheating ex, we're on better terms now. She's working hard to patch things up with our daughter, and I was thrilled when my daughter said she could forgive her mom. Still, I think my ex hasn't fully accepted we're over. She's hinting at getting back together, but I'm not interested. She's healthier, hitting the gym, doing therapy, all that good stuff, but yeah, not my problem anymore. She talks to the other betrayed spouse more now, and while they're cordial, there's still some skepticism there for obvious reasons. As for the other guy, he's kind of a mess, honestly. All that money and still clueless. He's got a new girlfriend now, but his kids aren't fans, to say the least. She seems pretty materialistic and not great with the girls, which isn't helping anything. So, to wrap it up, we're doing more than okay. I had my doubts, but with everyone working together, things are going really well. Not a happily ever after, just really happy right now. So yeah, y'all can rest easy now.